That's gonna be harder than
That was a wonderful speech.
Tell me to get on with it.
Shut up.
This is
That was the best speech.
All right, don't do
This
it.
is an attempt at an informal retrospective of the last 70 years.
All right.
70 years.
Ed, I don't have that long.
71.
I know.
Mom, trying to keep... Look, you got her so flustered she's dropping cake on herself. She realizes she ain't got that much time either.
But
Boy, you lost 4 already.
10 years ago, our father, as you quite well know, came into this world with a glorious mission to keep the name Weintraub from facing extinction. In West Philadelphia, he learned how to talk. In West Philadelphia, he learned how to walk. In West Philadelphia, the mold was being set for the choices and actions that he would beget. One factor should not escape our attention. This boy came to age in the Great Depression. Life was not tough, and it was not luxurious, and the lessons he learned, he has passed down to all of us. From his father and mother, he learned not to shirk and to value the fruits of a hard day's work. From the pages of some long-forgotten magazine, he remembered the following haunting refrain. A wise old owl sat on an oak. The more he heard, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Why can't you be like that wise old bird? That wise old bird sat on an oak tree and guided the boy to the local academy, where he made his first attempt at gainful employment, though he knew that this would not yield professional enjoyment. And he looked for a trade that would be quite enthralling and discovered watchmaking. And this was his calling. With tweezers in hand and a loop in one eye, he'd make his mark in the world as a top-notch watch guy. Say that 10 times.
Top-notch watch guy.
But work was not all that the young man desired, so on weekends he drove around Philly and inquired where one could find girls who knew how to dance and who might be inclined to fall in love at first glance. One night, when the stars were shining their brightest, one Catholic girl passed his Sight for Sore Eyes test. She was tall and lanky and light on her feet. Dorothy Clare was her name, and Irish Moffat. Upon their first dance, Cupid's arrow was shot. It was clear from the start that this Ed had his dot. A true Weintraub, he lived up to his name, faithful in love ever since he remained. It goes without saying that their marriage was stronger than most of their peers and will surely last longer. So stand up and shout and let's give 3 cheers to the couple who's been married now 46 years.
Yay!
Now that seemed like a good place for this to stop this account, but I've much more to say, so I hope you won't pout. When I ask you to stay put and without dissension, give the rest of the story your undivided attention. No sooner had Ed and Dot sealed their betrothal that old Uncle Sam forced a whole new proposal, demanding that Ed pack his new duffel bag and head for the south, North Carolina, Fort Bragg. The proverb says distance makes hearts grow fonder. 2 years in army life, though, can make one's eyes wander. Did he get distracted? No, his love did not falter, and in June '52 he led Dot to the altar. And in the next year, the young couple was blessed by the birth of a son, a bad verse-writing test. To care for the baby alone in the home, Ed worked very hard, worked his fingers to the bone, and work hard he did. He worked his butt off, for the business run well by Nathan Postloff. And from his master, Nathan Postloff.
Oh, okay.
And from this master, he learned salesmanship and much more, and before old Nate knew it, Ed opened his own store. The first years were lean, but word quickly spread of the watches and diamonds that were to be had at wholesale prices, whatever could be cooler, in the store of the man known as the boy jeweler. A consumer St. Nick, the public he entices with low overhead and even lower prices. Come toasters, come wallets, come West clocks, wall fixtures, come hair dryers, mood rings, and Dormeyer mixers. He sold, and they came, and he sold. But they didn't quite understand whatever he told. So ditties on the side, he improvisated. The Schmendricks on the loose. This gem is fascinated. Some came from near, others came from afar. Send me your tired, your weird and bizarre. Rockhead, Mrs. Bardini, Meyer Strickland, and Pottstown Joe. The Mover, Abe Sisholtz, and Al Dadamo. He sold and they came and he sold, and in a very short time there was a sight to behold. The store had grown beyond all expectation from a storefront business to a corporation. At home, things were blossoming with similar speed. First Bob and then Neil, and later on Steve. And shortly after the move from Philadelphia, the birth of a girl whom they named Little Cynthia. The boys grew up quickly and had different interests. They made no commitment to running the business. Ed took up teaching and Bob's music rocks. Steve's in computers and Neil sells stocks. And 3 of these sons heard the exhortation to pass the name Weintraub to a new generation. They went out in search of some good-looking women. Dynastic ambitions would soon come to fruition. So first there came Berta, and then there was Trish, and then there was Teddy and Jimmy and Denise, and then there was Robert and Megan and Crystal, and Zachary Tyler, and then baby Nicholas.
Working a rhyme there.
And lo and behold, from such humble beginnings in West Philadelphia, at a time of slim winnings, this man has accomplished what few ever see. The list is impressive, I'm sure you'll agree. A store that has provided for his family's needs, 3 sons who have given him 8 great-grandkids, a building in Philly's historical section, a wife who still gives him unwavering affection, a house in New Jersey, a blue Cadillac, and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of train track. And a purposeful life that has borne much fruits. When his 70th birthday, he deserves our salute. His gait may be slower, his hair a bit thinner. He may even eat less when he sits down to dinner. But his body's still active and his mind is still keen. He's a hard-working stamp and train collecting machine. One wise old owl just sat on a limb, but this wise old owl still works out in a gym. Someday when my age comes to 70, I hope that I'll have the same energy to expend. To conclude, we're assembled today at the celebration to honor a man worthy of our emulation. You've helped us lead good lives, and that is for sure, and we hope that you'll guide us for 70 years more.
Oh, wow.
Very good.
Wasn't that nice? It don't matter. What's that sentimental? Isn't he good?
I'm just glad that I recorded it.
Really? That's if you had to read it.
I hope that's a battery in there.
Yeah, I hope it's...
All right, spread the other presents around. We gotta get them.
Nicholas said, Papa, go to choose.
Yeah.
There you go.
Zachary.